Bonjour, je m'appelle, here I am, Lord, send me. Today, we're going to look, I can't say it with a straight face, and that's not because of how I look, it's because of what I'm actually going to mention. Today, we're going to look at the evidence of Sodom and Gomorrah from the Quran. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you sitting comfortably? We're in for a treat today. So bonjour, my one viewer. Hopefully it picks up. And with the man, the myth, the legend. She's not actually a man. It's my cat, Esther the Muslim cat. You joined us. She's a bit embarrassed because I showed her this evidence earlier. Yes, bro. How are you doing, man? So obviously, Muhammad had lots of, this is me pretending to be Muhammad. Do you know what I mean? His favourite colour must have been pink. But a sign of his prophethood was a mole on his back. That's okay. That's okay. But Muhammad also supported Leeds United. You get me? So I'm ready to take Shahada. What I'm learning upon this, Salam al-Masih. I'm going to let my brother come up. There you go. Links in the description. Upon finding out that Muhammad supported Leeds United, I'm ready to take my Shahada. But today, we're going to look at the evidence of the Quran, because I always show you the evidence of the Bible. It's really easy. It's over there, because the Bible's like a map, and we have a thing called archaeologists, or people that dig. They're like, is he an archaeologist? No, he just likes to dig. The evidence speaks for itself, but this is going to make you howl. Are you ready? This is apart from me constantly destroying the famous people, the ones with all the subscribers, with Sodom and Gomorrah, because it's the best evidence. Yeah, because it's the best evidence. The Quran also mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, and guess what? They found it. They have found it. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Okay, so are we sitting comfortably? I'm not. I don't know why they have these big bushy beards, man. But they do. So let's watch this. Are we ready? Are we sitting comfortably?
Depraved people. We rained down a rain upon them. See the final fate of the evildoers.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah, guys.
The city mentioned in the Quran, in which the people of Lot lived, and which was eventually destroyed, was recently unearthed during archaeological excavations. This was the ancient city of Sodom, as it is called in the Old Testament. Archaeological excavations have revealed that the city lay close to the Dead Sea on the present-day Israeli-Jordanian border. The area is covered in large deposits of sulfur. This is a most important piece of evidence because sulfur is an element which appears as a result.
That's salt, by the way, guys. What they're showing you is salt. That's not sulfur. Just gonna jump in a little bit. They showed you salt.
Of volcanic eruptions. Indeed, there is indication in the Quran that the method of destruction was earthquake and volcanic eruptions. The German archaeologist Werner Keller says,
no, there's not. You're going against scripture, bro. You're going against Allah's word.
This about the region. Together with the base of this mighty fissure, which runs precisely through this area, the Vale of Siddim, including Sodom and Gomorrah, plunged one day into the abyss. Their destruction came about through a great earthquake, which was probably accompanied by explosions, lightning, issue of natural...
This isn't a Quranic verse. I know this subject really well, because it's the holy grail of destroying them. This is someone trying to explain something. This isn't the Quranic verses, and what they're saying is literally going against Allah's word. But we can go into that later, because I know the story better than the Muslims. It's called
gas and general conflagration. In the upper valley of the Jordan, near Bashan, there are still the towering craters of extinct volcanoes. Great stretches of lava and deep layers of basalt have been deposited on the limestone surface.
No, there's not. No, there's not. Do you know why that is, guys?
These layers of lava...
Do you know why that is, guys? Because when you do what I do, which is to show the evidence of the Bible, you also have to come up with counter-arguments, scientific counter-arguments. And if they were to suppose this, sulfur comes out of volcanoes, which it does, there's no, what are those things called? Those lines where the earthquakes happen on. There's none of that. There's none of that there. It's that literally, you need to attack the Bible to think of a scientific argument against it, and there's no volcanoes in that region. So there's another bald-faced lie.
Lava and basalt are the most important evidence showing that a volcanic eruption and an earthquake once took place there.
And what he's showing here is it says that Allah turned the city upside down on top of itself. He never said he burnt the city to ash. He said he rained down rocks. Now he's using Christian material, and that is the city of Sodom. Yeah, not the city that he's talking about. He's putting two cities together that they said God turned to ash. So there's another lie, because you can't go underneath the city, and Allah never said he burnt it. He flipped it upside down and rained down hard clay. So this is the level of stupidity that they have to go to. They're literally going against what their texts say. But feel free, if you're Muslim, go and show me the verses that would explain any of the stuff that you're seeing in front of your face.
In any event, Lake Lot, otherwise known as the Dead Sea, lies directly above a seismically active region. In other words, an earthquake belt.
It doesn't. So this is what they're telling you is the city. This is the city. Ready? We're looking, yeah. This is the city that they're telling you is Sodom and Gomorrah. Yes, but according, like, subscribe and pay your jizya, because I've just annihilated Islam. According to the Quran, Angel Gabriel came down and flipped the city with his wing, and put it on top of itself. Does that city look upside down to you? Does that city look upside down to you? Can you see any balls of clay? They're stones, guys. They're stones in the corner. Yeah. That the Bible said, we're going to get this rid of this nonsense, that the Bible said was burnt to ash. You get me? So they're telling you this is the city. To prove the scientific miracles of the Quran and that it's real. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, does it? It really doesn't look like it. Can you see it flipped upside down? But Allah said they will walk past it day and night. Are they walking past it day and night? Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Because they'll never lose it. The people will walk past it. They'll leave it there to show these people not to do these things. Just what the Bible says, actually. So, this is the level. Let's go over this again.
The city mentioned in the Quran, in which the people of Lot lived, and which was eventually destroyed, was recently unearthed during archaeological excavations. This was the ancient city of Sodom, as it is called in the Old Testament. Archaeological excavations have revealed that the city lay close to the Dead Sea on the present-day Israeli-Jordanian border. The area is covered in large deposits of sulfur.
Does that look like a giant city to you guys? Is that sulfur? Is that sulfur? That's salt, guys. This is because you're so stupid. It's salt flats. This is where you get the Dead Sea from. Because in the Bible, that was an extremely fertile land, and God said nothing would grow. And what the Romans used to do is they used to salt the land when they conquered their enemies, so nothing would grow there. But God, the real God in the Bible, said he will salt the area so nothing grows there. The Quran doesn't say anything to do with that. But if you want to believe that's sulfur, you're an idiot. That's a salt lake. We'll go to the Bible's evidence later. Yeah. We'll go to the Bible's evidence later.
This is a most important piece of evidence because sulfur is an element which...
Bro, is that sulfur? What are you talking about? What color is sulfur? It's yellow. It's yellow. Would sulfur dissolve in water? Like this is so mental, the lies that are coming out of their mind to produce this material. It's a salt flat where God said he'd rain down salt. It's salt, salt, salt. Na.
important piece of evidence because sulfur is an element which appears as
I think does someone find does sulfur dissolve in
a
water?
result of volcanic eruptions. Indeed, there is indication in the Quran that the method of destruction was earthquake and volcanic eruptions. The German archaeologist Werner
No, listen to what he's going to say. There's no evidence of an earthquake at all. Now, he's going to quote for you verses off a German archaeologist who's trying to normalize it. Ready? Probably a Muslim. Listen to the lies that come out of their mouth.
Keller says this about the region. Together with the base of this mighty fissure, which runs precisely through this area, the Vale of Siddim, including Sodom and Gomorrah, plunged one day into the abyss.
That doesn't line up with the Quran, does it? That doesn't line up with the Quran. Let's go. Let me show you how easy it is to prove. Are there any volcanic fissures in Israel? Are there any volcanoes in Israel? There you go. Share this tab instead. I've already done this because when I found the Bible, I needed to see if it was a volcano, obviously. Volcano extends through the northeastern Jordan and Syria to the Golan Heights. Minor volcanic fields also develop in northern Israel around Hula Valley, northern Israel, and southern Lebanon. Yeah, we go back to here. Share this screen instead. I'll show you where this is Israel. This is Sodom. This is the Dead Sea. Do you know where the Dead Sea is? It's at the bottom of Israel. It's not. It stops at the Golan Heights. That's the top. Jordan, Syria, the Golan Heights, and it stops there. So there's no volcanic fissures, are there? You bum liar. Because I know that, because when I tested the Bible, I said, sulfur balls, this, that, the other, what could explain for it? Well, technically you could argue that this could happen, but you can't. Yeah, because it's shit. Oh, I called out the wrong word. It's bull. Yeah, do you understand how easy this is? Let's keep on going. Keep on lying about the Quran.
Together with the base of this mighty fissure, which runs precisely through this area, the Vale of Siddim, including Sodom and Gomorrah, plunged one day into the abyss.
Going against the angel Gabriel flipped the city over on top of itself. Carry on.
Their destruction came about through a great earthquake, which was...
There are no tectonic plates meeting in Israel. So let's go for this one. Tectonic plates in Israel. Feature is the Dead Sea part. Oh, hang on. Israel's most significant tectonic feature is the Dead Sea Rift, part of the large East African rift system. This rift is a divergent boundary where the African and Arabian plates slowly moved away from each other to form the Jordan Valley, the Dead Sea, and surrounding landscape. Okay, we stand corrected. What tectonic plate is Jerusalem on? Israel is not on the African plate, which is on the western edge of the Arabian plate. It is a boundary with the African plate. The boundary is called the Great Rift Valley. Let's have a look. Share this tab instead, because people can lie and we can look. Yep, there is a fissure that goes through Israel. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Let's go back to this.
Probably accompanied by explosions,
Probably.
lightning, issue of natural gas, and general conflagration. In the upper valley of the Jordan, near Bashan, there are still the towering craters of extinct volcanoes. Great stretches of lava and deep layers of basalt have been deposited on the limestone surface.
Oh my gosh. Read underneath what he said. Just look down here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. You might be able to see my mouse on this page. Read that. Werner Keller, The Bible as History, 1982. He's literally stealing from a biblical book. You just need to see it, don't you? You just need to see it. This is crazy. Oh,
These layers of lava and basalt are the most important evidence showing that a volcanic eruption.
bro, stop it. Did you see what he said? Did you see what he said? Stop it, subhanallah. Because you've all seen Sodom and Gomorrah. If you've been on this channel, you must have seen Sodom and Gomorrah. This is Sodom and Gomorrah from the Bible. Yeah. Do you see the? I'll go with my mouse over here. Do you see? It's on here, isn't it? Do you see this? These are buildings, and when ash drops down, it drops and it makes these kind of like hills, doesn't it, at the bottom of ash, because you turn the stone to ash, limestone to ash with heat. Yeah, with heat. So he's literally showing you Christian evidence that backs it up. And let's see what he says it is. Does that look like, what color is lava? What color is lava? Black. Lava's black. What color is limestone? You get me? This is so, the nonsense that comes out, the people that produce this, there's a very, very, very warm place down below for you when you get there.
These layers of lava and basalt are the
Basalt. Does that look like basalt? Let's have a look at what basalt looks like. Basalt rock. Let's have a look at that. Let's share this. Basalt. Can you see that? Basalt is a hard black volcanic rock with less than about 52 percent silica. Let's have a look at a picture of basalt, shall we? Does that look like basalt? Does that look like what we're being shown? Let's just do a little side-by-side comparison. Oh. Let's do it. Does that look like basalt to you? Ready? This is what they're saying. Does that look like basalt is a black lava rock? Let's listen to the nonsense to come out of their mouth again. Ready?
The most important evidence showing that a volcanic eruption and an earthquake once took place there.
Which doesn't go inside of what the Quran says. We're going to go into the Quranic verses, so you're going to realize I ain't lying, bro.
In any event, Lake Lot, otherwise known as the Dead Sea, lies directly above a seismically active region. In other words, an earthquake belt.
Ah. Are we sitting comfortably now, guys? And guys, if you've tuned in and it's live, go skip to the beginning. Go skip to the beginning. I tell you, boy, I tell you. So let's go look at the verses. Quran verses on Sodom and Gomorrah. Verses about, what does the Quran say about Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay. Is Gomorrah mentioned? Okay. Let's open this one. Share this tab instead. Can we see that now, guys? What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? The prophet looked, the daughters in the Bible and the Quran. Let's find some verses. Okay. When the angel's message of Allah came to Lut. Okay, this is going to go through them. It's going to go through the beginning. There's no point of the story. You can't prove the story. You can only prove evidence. Okay, I've been through this page before, actually. Okay, let me just look for evidence. Okay, it's still going through the story. Okay, still going through the story. So when our commandment came, we turned the town of Sodom and Palestine upside down and rained on them stones of baked clay piled up, each stone marked from the Lord, and they are not ever far from wrongdoers. Do you get me? Does that? So when the commandment came down, we turned the towns of Sodom in Palestine. It's not in Palestine. It's not Palestine, upside down, and rained on them stones of baked clay piled up, each stone marked from your Lord. It had their names written on it. And when they are not ever far from wrongdoers. Does that completely destroy everything that we've been looking at? Will you do? Okay, this is about how many Lot arguing with people. It says 50 in ours. It's that. Okay. Okay, Abraham said, indeed, within it is Lot. They said, we are more knowing of who is within. We will surely save him and his family, except his wife. She is to be of those who remain behind. What does the Bible say about Lot's wife? She turned a pillar of salt. As I was reading my Bible just the other day. It's a brilliant reggae song, Lot's Wife. Type it in Lot's Wife if you like dub reggae. It's a classic. Yeah. I was learning scripture before I was even saved. Hold tight the reggae community. You don't know. Yeah. So Lot's wife, according to the Quran, was left in the city. And I've just shown you all the evidence of all the lies and them using biblical literature and biblical evidence, which doesn't match up with them. Basalt is black. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. There's not a lot. We need to have a shave. Okay. Yellow Habibi. Let's go back to this one. Boom. Okay. She's of those who remain behind. What are we going to show in a little bit? We're probably going to show Lot's wife who turned a pillar of salt. Yeah. Okay. Contrasts in biblical accounts. I know the Bible. If you don't know the Bible, okay. God said he will destroy Sodom and Gomorrah with brimstone and fire. Brimstone's direct translation is sulfur. God said he will destroy. Let me get a full screen so you can look at this beautiful scarf that I have on. Hold tight, Leeds United Red Bull. God said he will rain down brimstone and fire. He will salt the earth. And Lot's wife walked out of the city with them, turned round, looked back at the city, and was turned into a pillar of salt. In contrast to the Quran, which said Angel Gabriel came down with his wing, flipped the city on top of itself, and rained down balls of hardened clay, each with their name on. And who was inside the city? Lot's wife. Yeah. So it's very easy to test. Very easy to test. Let's keep going. That's basically it, isn't it? That's basically it. And they say, why did Lot's kids sleep with Lot? A logical explanation for Lot's kids sleeping with her father, got him drunk and slept with him, is because when they looked back, Sodom, Gomorrah, and 3 other minor cities, Zora is one of them, it's mentioned, there's another 3 cities mentioned, were destroyed. And when you're sitting on a hill and you've seen everything destroyed, you might think, God didn't tell them what he was going to do, did he? If you're a child of God, yeah, you might think, do you know what? The whole earth has been destroyed. Everyone's dead. The only chance to reproduce is to mate with our father. Yeah, disgusting. Yeah, but that's the logical explanation. The logical explanation for it makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense. What did God do? God cursed them. So when people do bad things, yeah, God judges them. The prophets are great people, but they are human, and they all fall short of the glory of God. Yeah, all fall short of the glory of God. This is how easy it is to prove the Bible. Stop following their arguments, go and compare prophets side by side and look for the evidence, and then ask them to look the same and watch them play hopscotch, halal hopscotch, jumping all over the place. The Bible's real. Simmy. Okay, where are we? Contrast with the Bible accounts, blah, 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 blah. Accusation of drunkenness against Lot. Oh, he was a bad person. Muhammad. oh, Muhammad. So we've seen the verses. And we've looked at the evidence. Should we go look at the Bible's evidence? Let's go. I found a really short video. Sodom and Gomorrah found. I'll just show you, and I might put it on double speed. What have we got here? Share this tab instead. You can follow me along instead of looking at my hairy face. Ron White's discoveries. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, that's that. These are the cities. Ready? These are the cities.
The plains once enjoyed a beautiful and very prosperous existence.
Do you see any vegetation? He said no vegetation would grow in them. And the sulfur balls stop when you leave the city. God's pretty accurate. God's pretty accurate. You get me? Let me just go on to this one. God's pretty accurate. He said there'll be no plants growing in that area. And then when you leave the city, you find plants. And when you leave the city, you don't find balls of sulfur, which are 99.3% pure, which doesn't occur in nature. Not clay, hard clay stones with names written on people. And this, according to the Quran, this city here should be turned upside down. And people will walk past it day and night. And because Muslims are stupid, because they've never looked, yeah, hold tight, got to change that comment. Oh, Leeds United, you put the disgusting face up. Bro, subhanallah, I'm going to ban you. Because the Quran says it's flipped upside down, and people walk past it day and night. They believe, Muslims believe, because they've never read the Quran, that it's underneath the Dead Sea. There's actually a Freemason channel, because it's signed as the letter, you know, the apron that they wear in front of them, the History Channel, and it's gone looking in the Dead Sea for Sodom and Gomorrah. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, a kingdom divided against itself will fall. So anything that's not for God will be against God and produce material like this. So let's keep going. No vegetation. Did you see any
The
vegetation?
place where Lot chose rather than the mountains
That's that 3,000 years. No
to
vegetation still.
feed his flocks and herds and raise his family. And you'll notice here that we have several feet.
Later, we actually found sulfur balls, these spheres of sulfur, and where they had completely burned up, there was a cavity very similar, you know, to this one that Mary and Elle had found a year before. Okay, we're down at Sodom and Gomorrah still. Right in front of you.
Guys, listen to me. If you can learn this argument, you absolutely destroy Islam. Dead, kill shot, dumb. So if you have an audience, learn this, get it out into the mainstream. I think I've never heard anyone else doing side-by-side comparisons. I hope there are people that do it.
You see some unusual looking spots on this, shall we say, layer of ash. It's not stone, it's ash. Now we'll move in for a close-up of this. And you can see that they're kind of circular shaped places. Now what we have found, and we'll move in a little closer here, is that inside each of these is sulfur.
I won't wish that on anyone I hate.
That is in most of them. Now the ones that do not have sulfur in them, and this one we just took a bunch of sulfur out and put it in our specimen bag. But the ones that don't have sulfur have a very black.
So look over here.
Now here's one of these sulfur capsules. And that particular one.
Now you see what we're looking at here. Sulfur, people are paid money in areas where sulfur is coming out of the fissures. Men go up and they load big balls of sulfur on their back. And it's the highest rate found in nature, 70%. And it's just like this guy. It's got yellow. It's very yellow. This is pure sulfur. There are a few elements inside of it that aren't pure, but that's in 1%. 1% of it. So that isn't found anywhere else on Earth. Balls of sulfur, and it says balls of sulfur will be rained down. Not hard clay with people's names on it. You are so blind, it's crazy. Okay, come on, Ron. What have you got?
It has a large quantity of just pure sulfur. And there are millions and millions of those throughout these ash heaps here that are the remains of the cities of the plain.
See where else we can go. Let's go for some more evidence. Yeah.
In Jude, we're told that they're an example of what will happen to the wicked, even the angels. Several stories of pure ash all that is left of the stones, the wood, the people, the animals, everything that was in Sodom and Gomorrah. You recall that when the fire of God burned the offering.
Ooh, did you hear that? You recall when the fire in Elijah, when the fire came down, it burnt the stones as well? I've never heard that one before, but that makes sense. That's a pretty cool one. Thank you.
On Mount Carmel, when Elijah called the priests of Baal to account, it says that it burned the offering, the stones, and licked up the water out of the trough. So no one will ever.
Now, do you see how these are human structures, and you see roadways through? These are giant cities. Giant cities. Yeah, it doesn't mention the other three. It says and 3 other villages. And what the Quran was showing us earlier before, that they'd found Sodom and Gomorrah, was about 70 houses. These are massive structures. This is like there's so much stuff there. It's huge. It takes you days to walk around. This is a city, big city. Yeah, and you see how if you turn stone to ash kind of falls off, doesn't it? You see how the ash has fallen off and it's gone into the roadways. There's still roadways there. We'll get there if it shows it here on this one.
Never find any archaeological remains of the cities of the plain other than these ashes. And friends, if we defy God's kind and merciful entreaty to come to him and be saved and be renewed.
Now you see that? Now if you go into the science of it, when you heat up limestone, because it's a different color to the stone around it, they use limestone to build these structures. When you heat up limestone to a certain temperature, it creates these swirls inside of the stone through heat. It kind of does a swirly thing. Yeah, it kind of is molten, isn't it? It kind of swirls around. Yeah. Do you see that in there? And it changes the chemical formula of what it is. If you go and find limestone or whatever it is and you do the experiment, it changes its composition chemically. And these have been changed chemically. They are not limestone. They're ash. They've been changed. And that's what happens. So we're looking at what science says. Just going to add in a little bit of salt. I go like that. God's added in a little bit, but when you taste it, you think, add a little bit more salt for you there, God. So there we go, ESME.
Forgiven. We will end up in exactly this condition.
It will be better of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah for people who rejected God nowadays because they don't have evidence. They have all this evidence in front of them. That's what it says in the Bible. That's the Adam King translation. Yeah. So do you understand? And I'm just going to say this now. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Yeah. It's so important that when faced with this evidence and juxtaposed or put side by side, sometimes I like to use big words to sound like Muhammad Hijab. When you put them side by side and listen to the stories, it's absolutely laughable. Absolutely laughable. And they were using Christian material and just lying through their teeth.
Because the word of God tells us so. And God says that he is the Lord. He changes not, neither does he alter the thing that has gone out of his lips.
Come on. Okay, guys. Always starts with a smiley. Ready? Eee, pearly whites there. So I missed the teeth at the back though. So we'll keep the camera straight forwards. So what you have basically seen, and if you're new to this stream, if you go to the beginning of this stream and skip maybe 30 seconds, it's me with a silly hat. You will, yeah, come on, Top G, rude boy, you don't know. Yeah. Keeping it real, 2-barreled. If you go back to the beginning of this video, which I really, really recommend, I'm going to cut this stream in a few seconds, a couple of minutes. I want to explain what we've seen. This is the rehash, yeah? The Quran tells you that Lut is Lot. Different names, don't worry about it. This happened 3,000 years ago. You're trusting a book that came 3,600 years after this event? that was sent. I'm not going to go into the historical evidence of the Quran. You're trusting someone that says that Allah said that the people will walk past it day and night. So he's saying, yo, I've left this over here. Don't do these things. It's bad. But what you will see, if the Quran is true, is Angel Gabriel flipped a city on top of itself. So its top parts were his bottom. So got, let's use Leeds because it's the best city in the world. Got Leeds and went like on top of it. It said that Lot's wife is inside the city with the disbelievers. And if you were to find her skeleton, there would be a big stone, a big clay, dry, hard clay stone in her head. Yeah. With her name written on it. But you know, you'd have to flip a city back on top of itself to find that one. He said, he didn't say that he salted the earth. He didn't mention volcanoes. The Bible doesn't mention volcanoes as well. So don't get it twisted, because they'll use that in their argument. Didn't say that. God says that Lot's wife turned a pillar of salt. So we've not been through that one. Shall I go show you Lot's wife? There's always a fake Lot's wife and a real Lot's wife. Let me show you Lot's wife found. Oh, there you go.
Do you see what I'm seeing? Just in front of us, right here, is the statue of Lot's wife. Isn't that incredible?
I'll show you the fake one.
If you look a bit here, what do you see?
I'm going to say something now. Lot's wife was a portly lass. She's a bit thick around the waist.
You see a very strange looking statue, and some people say this is the Lot's wife. This is the Lot's wife.
I don't think so.
But we don't think so. To be honest, we believe Sodom and Gomorrah happened here. We believe it happened in the dead.
Does this make sense? Does this make sense? They believe it's in the pond, and I've just shown you Sodom and Gomorrah. This is the cognitant dissidence. Yeah. This is the cognitant dissidence. Yeah. Let me show you. So this, if we can get up close, I hope they do a zoom in of it. Let's find some Lot's wife found. Let me show you it, because it's literally a woman. There you go.
It's just a cigarette, and it cannot be that bad.
Honey, don't you love me, and you know it.
Do you see her dress? Do you see her turning round? This is a woman on a pillar of salt.
Makes me sad.
It's just a cigarette, like you all.
It's gone off topic, this one. So that's Lot's wife. I'm going to show you what they try and tell you is... this is... Godly examples of generations. There you go. Did you?
In the last day of our Dead Sea trip.
Hang on, I'll just show you that. Can you see that? Oh, hang on. Can you see that, guys? This is what... Where's my little face? I'll put my little face in here because I can point to it. Ta-da! Oh, there we go. I'm an idiot. This is what the world is telling you is Lot's wife. This one here, right here. And over there is what the Bible are telling you is Lot's wife. Now, it's a bit weird for something to go straight up, a very thin object. Do you understand? Because if you have the cataclysms and things like that, you don't find structures like that in nature. You don't find them in nature. Maybe dropping down, like stalagmites or stalactites, but not going up. Yeah? And on top of the pillar, which is salt, can you see the woman there? In Jordan. Let me just show you where this one is. In Jordan, in Israel. And what did he say? They left the city and they walked out. And on top of a hill, when are you likely to look back at something? You know, when you're climbing up a mountain, you look forwards. He says, don't turn back. He's told them the rules. Don't turn back. Don't look at the city. They've gone up to the top of the hill and the wife's gone, oh, it's a great view from here. And turned into a pillar of salt. And it's there. It's there. That's it. That is, there's better pictures of it as well. Yeah, there's better.
In the last day of our Dead Sea trip, we decided to get in the car and explore the south of the Dead Sea.
This is what they're saying it is.
While the Israeli pillar looks more like the cave at all.
There you go. Can you see that? This is what they're telling you it is, and this is what it actually is. It's like with Mount Sodom. And Allah, he said he will turn Mount Sinai into a crisp if he wanted to, but he didn't. The Bible said he did, and we found it. But I don't want to go off topic. I want to keep this really short. So Satan will always try and show you things that look like it roughly, but aren't it. That's not a woman turned into a pillar of salt. That well and truly, there we go. That well and truly could be over there on top of a hill when you would look back. Do you kind of get it? Yeah. So by all means, go and read the Quranic verses that explain it, and go back to the beginning of this video and watch me going through what they're saying, and they're lying in front of your face. I literally break it down all the way. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Islam. So guys, are you happy? Jesus Christ is Lord. The Bible is real. I'm going to say it one more time. Dead Sea, Mount Sodom in Jordan. Yeah. And it's not underneath the sea, is it? Because that would go against the Quran as well. So they found Sodom and Gomorrah. If you want to look into it more, underneath the description of this video, the 6 videos that I share, that I actually put into this that we produce. Let's go. Let's just look at me. Look at my hairy face with the best flag in the world. This is what my ministry produces. The Holy Bible examined. Yeah, the Gospel of Jesus Christ over here. Let's get my right and my left. What's that? Ron Wyatt's Discoveries. It's the first video underneath this in the description. You can go check it out. So we actually show the evidence of Sodom and Gomorrah. You can go visit it if you want. Go visit it. So guys, I love you all. It's going to be a really short video. Hasta la vista. Peace.